Welcome to Synchronize Swatches, your twice-monthly dose of coolness. I'm your host, Chip Johnson.
And I'm the other guy, Chris Gregory.
Every other week, we watch an episode of the cult classic 1990 sitcom Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and then we record ourselves chatting about it.
It's time for Operation Record the Podcast. Are you ready?
Truthness.
Gentlemen, Synchronize Swatches. Not a problem.
I've never liked you, Lewis.
Not a problem.
Eat now?
Clean out your locker. You're finished.
You know, earlier today it was like I was ready to come on here and brag because like it's been like 80 degrees. You know, it was 80 degrees yesterday. It was 75 on Saturday. It was really nice earlier, and then like it got cloudy outside, and now it's like 50. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. We still have a bit of a heat spell, man. Like it's like
Really?
in the 80s again today, which again is not bad. I mean, it doesn't feel bad outside, but like just for this time of year for here, it's like, man, this is fucking hot. What the hell's going on, man?
Climate change.
Yeah. The Earth is dying.
Climate change.
I'm just feeling it's death throes right now. But
No, the Earth's fine. The Earth is going to be fine. We're fucked.
It's just going to buck us off of it.
Yeah.
That's
It's gonna be
a
like,
good
well,
point. That is a good point. The Earth will heal once we've been wiped out.
Yeah, it's just gonna heat itself up like a fever treating an infection. And
That's exactly what it is. It's a fever.
yeah,
Get rid of the infestation. Great way to start off the episode.
you know, I like people, you know, but we come
we
on here,
suck.
we start talking. We come on here, we start talking. Next thing you know, we're talking about exterminating people or some shit. You know,
I like people, but they suck.
some of them do. Yes.
Yes. We are flawed. We are greatly flawed.
Oh well, what are you gonna do? A podcast about an old show.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Imminent danger, sirs.
I guess we could talk about it at the top, but like, so I went back and reread the IMDb synopsis because I thought we talked about this last week, our last episode, where we read it and we're like, oh, it's going to be kind of like a docudrama, docu-style, office style. It was not at all.
No, not at all. You're right. I forgot about that actually. Yeah, now that you mentioned
It was
that.
not at all, because the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, when is that kind of look gonna kick in? And I reread it, and I was like, no, they actually said it's like, first for Parker Lewis style, it's got a documentary feel. I'm like, it doesn't have a documentary feel at all. Like,
I wonder if the person saw it and they was just like, well, it's in black and white, and some documentaries are in black and white.
I don't know what they think a documentary is, but
that's probably what it is. Like, they don't know what a documentary is.
It was so bizarre. I'm like, it's just like any other episode. There's no, it was bizarre. Yeah, but I went back and I was like, did I misread that? But no, that's what it says. And
I completely forgot about that part.
yeah, it's
you're right.
So bizarre.
Yeah. Who would have thought IMDb's anonymous synopsis writer would have dropped the ball?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
they've been betting 1,000 till now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, they really have. Nice sports analogy, Chip. Folks, that was that's a noteworthy moment there. Chip said batting 1,000.
That's a sports analogy?
Yeah.
Huh?
All right. Let's move on to the episode. Yeah, so today we're here to discuss Boy Meets Girl, Season 2, Episode 12 of Parker Lewis Can't Lose. And for the German title, I'm going to pass it on over to Paul here.
Paul, if you will, sir.
Die eine.
Die eine. I could have done that.
Yeah, that's because that's a pretty simple one.
Yeah. And that translates to the one, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So this one aired on Sunday, November 10th, 1991. Couldn't find anything interesting that happened on that day. Or maybe
Boring
I didn't look. I can't remember. Yeah. I hope nothing monumental happened on that day. It's like, that day was boring. The Soviet Union fell on November 10th. Shit. No one will ever take us seriously again.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway. Yeah. This episode was written by Lon Diamond and Clyde Phillips, their 13th episode, and directed by Rob Bowman. This is his 4th episode directing, and the second in a row. He directed the last episode, Love Handles.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my episode synopsis. Love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. Love, life's sweetest reward. Let it flow. It flows back to you. Santo Domingooooo. Soon we'll be making another run.
Nice.
I'm not going to sing any more of this. Santo Domingo
No, you gotta
promises promises something for everyone. Set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance with Annie Sloan.
Nice. Well
All right,
done,
so
sir.
Thanks. See if you can change the tint on my face so it's not quite so blushy when I'm singing. Clearly
I'm going to
embarrassed.
auto-tune that whole part, too.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Cool.
God.
I can't wait to hear it. All right, so for our credits gag, everyone is decorating for the upcoming Shut Up and Dance dance. And our first little, the first thing we see here is Mikey hanging a balloon that reads Axel in 92. I made a note here just to remind you how old this show is.
A lot of references to Axel in this show, I have to say.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I guess he was still really famous at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know when Guns N' Roses kind of fell out of favor.
I think they were still riding pretty high around this time, yeah.
The next in the next segment, we follow a strand of sausages, a cartoon-style strand of sausages that are hung along the wall, and eventually we arrive at Kubiak, who is just munching away on one of the sausages.
And they do not look cooked.
No, they don't.
They do not look cooked at all, dude.
Come on, man. Coob doesn't give a shit about that.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. They look raw as hell.
Yeah, they do.
So next we see Jerry working on elevating a disco ball before he himself is elevated away in a manner that seems like it would lend itself to an on-set head injury. I'm not sure. I'm not saying anything, but it looked a lot like a scene that was described to us previously.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounded very painful.
Yeah.
So finally we see Parker, and he's seemingly tapping the edge of a box before the scene cuts very quickly. It was very strange. And then when I went back and looked again, I went back to find something in the English language version.
Yeah.
And just on a hunch, I was like, I'll take a look at this gag sequence and see if there's something strange going on here. And in fact, the box that he's tapping is a title card for the show.
Yeah.
That's being hung in the gymnasium like a decoration, and he's like putting the finishing touches on it, and it pulls out and it says Parker Lewis can't lose.
Yeah.
But of course they left that out for the German language version we watched originally.
Yeah, so the gag is just totally missed. Yeah.
And it's very quick too.
Yeah.
It's like a second and a half of him just going beep, and then it's like
yeah, and you're like, what? Yeah, I'm glad you pulled that up, because I didn't think to look at the English language one.
You know, as I mentioned here, it makes the end credits gag make a lot more sense, because that seemed. I mean, it didn't seem
thing.
Like,
it was like, well, okay.
yeah, it was kind of awkward. So, so we open on the Atlas Diner, and everything is in black and white. We see Nick bid adieu to the last customer of the evening, and then he goes back inside and encourages Parker to tell him what happened. And we can see Parker sitting in there at the bar with his head down. And then Nick prepares Parker a glass of ice water with honey, I think. Like I said, it's in black and white, so it's hard to tell what he's pouring.
I think it's lemonade.
Definitely is.
That was
it's
my
lemonade.
note. Was
okay.
I think it's lemonade, but yeah,
because
because it's black and white, it's hard to tell. But I feel just from the feel of it, and then him adding honey, I was like, I think it's got to be lemonade. So it's just like sweetening the lemonade, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't think of any other like cold drink that you would put honey into. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe iced tea.
Yeah, it's a good
Maybe
substitute for sugar.
Yeah.
But this is very light. I mean, that's why it looks like ice water. You know, I'm sure you're right. It's lemonade.
Lemonade or iced tea. Yeah, that's the only two things I could think of. Yeah, but
and it's obvious that it's honey though, because he's squeezing one of those bear.
Yeah,
containers.
the bears, the plastic bears. Yeah, that's iconic honey container.
Yeah.
This is a love story, Nick. Remember Annie Sloan? A few weeks ago, she and I were the most happening couple in school. Not anymore. Maybe the answer to what went wrong is in my childhood.
And then we get this flashback to these three girls that broke Parker's heart in the past. The first one is Elaine Leffler, and we see this little girl come out of a kindergarten classroom. She's got very curly hair, and she's thoroughly disgusted because as she says, "Parker kissed me," and she goes, "Bleh." This is really funny. So then we get heartbreak number 2 is Laura Beatty, and she comes out of an elementary room classroom to tell Parker that she's sorry, but her dad says his dad simply doesn't make enough money. And then we get
bitch.
I know. Dad sounds like the asshole here.
Yeah.
So then we get heartbreak number 3 is Cheyenne Thomas. Cheyenne exits a high school classroom and says, "Parker who?"
And Cheyenne Thomas here is played by Lindsay Price. Her credits include a shit ton of episodes of All My Children, a shit ton of episodes of Bold and Beautiful, so a lot of soaps.
Yep.
A bunch of episodes of Beverly Hills 90210 as well.
I think she's the eventual wife of Ian Ziering's character or something.
Oh, okay.
Because his name was Steve Sanders, and hers was Janie Sosna Sanders on there, I guess. So.
Boy Meets World, Wonder Years, CSI, tons of stuff.
She checks a lot of boxes on our bingo card there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back in the present at the Atlas Diner. Parker tells Nick that he is a vulnerable eggshell of a teen, a guy who swore he'd never fall for another girl again. And then we go over to the gymnasium, and I guess he's telling the story now because everything's in color again. It turns out that the dance decorations we saw at the beginning was actually punishment that Miss Musso has levied against the various students. The Buds particularly because Jerry was caught attempting to join the girls' swim team. I made a note here. Humorous joke in 1991. Crucial make or break political issue for a certain contingent in 2026.
Yes.
How things have changed.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah. So Parker explains their predicament in voiceover, and we see someone stuff a balloon in Kubiak's mouth, and then he inflates it like a helium tank when they pull on his ear.
They tug his ear. This is my favorite gag of the episode, I think, man. It's just so humorous, man. Seeing him blowing up this fucking balloon.
Yeah. And you see it a couple of times too, like in various shots in the background.
And the tugging on the ear to operate him.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh god.
Yeah, so Musso tells these eager beavers that they are doing an excellent job, and if they keep it up, she will ensure that they receive a week off of school. And then under her breath, she says, "Next summer." V.O. Parker explains that rather than boning one of his weekends, Miss Musso has actually put him in a position to have his life changed forever. While he's hanging these streamers, he looks over and he catches the eye of a girl who is atop a ladder hanging balloons. This is Annie Sloan.
Annie Sloan, played by Jennifer Guthrie. She also has some soaps to her name. General Hospital, to be precise. She was Dawn Winthrop in General Hospital. She was also in Beverly Hills 90210.
Yep.
2 episodes. A bunch of one-offs. Seinfeld, Renegade. Renegade keeps popping up too. You know?
I know, it's so great.
NYPD Blue, Sex and the City. And I see here you have Sex and the City was her last credit in '98.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. She hasn't done anything in quite some time. She's just like, nuts to this shit. No more Renegade for me. Yeah. Yeah, so when Annie looks over and smiles, Parker looks away. From the ground below him, he's on the top of a ladder. I don't think I mentioned that before. But Mikey's down there with Jerry, and Mikey suggests that Jerry pull the old fake stomach bug routine, and that would allow them to get to the mall in about 20 minutes. So then Jerry starts to act sick. And it's really funny the way he does it, because he holds his tummy. Yeah, he does this thing, shaking his hands like,
I don't feel so well.
Yeah. It's great. It's very convincing. But Parker's not having any of that. He and Annie continue to exchange glances in slow motion, even from across the gymnasium. Parker says he was in paradise all afternoon. I should say here that this episode is like 75% voiceover.
Yeah.
So, because he's, like I said, the framing is that he's telling this story to Nick at the at the diner. So there's a lot of talking in this episode. But, So he says he was in paradise all afternoon. And later, Annie is at the decorations table grabbing additional streamers, and Parker stumbles over and bumps into her, and he introduces himself as Parker Nervous. What a nerd. And then she introduces herself, and we're off to the races. And we see the two of them continuing to decorate the gym together. And V.O. Parker tells us, and then I put a note in here, I guess he's actually talking to Nick technically throughout.
That's what makes it a documentary.
That's right. That's how that works. Maybe Nick is typing it up, documenting it.
Documentary.
Stupid jerks. Anyway, V.O. Parker tells us that he's dated lots of girls and kissed lots of girls, but this is the first time his body and his heart were telling him he'd met the right girl. He'd met a girl who mattered. I just wrote, what if Donna Sue had been standing behind him, or Haley Madison, or Becky Grant, or any of these other chicks that were like, you know, deep characters. Haley Madison had him changing his wardrobe, for Christ's sake, you know?
But she's the only girl that matters.
Yeah, exactly. All the rest of them go to hell. The rest of them can rot.
Oh, God.
So Parker's got a little puppy love going on here. And he's concerned, though. He feels like he needs to be careful because she might turn out to be as vapid as the rest of them. Jesus, God. Man. So they're both perched atop these ladders, still decorating. And after he has that thought, she asks him, would you approve of one person's death if 1,000 other people's lives would be saved? And then Parker says, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. And then he tells her, I have been and always shall be your friend, right before he beefs it. Okay, he didn't actually do that. He didn't do that at all. He just doesn't respond. I just thought my scene was more interesting.
Yeah.
So, despite this internal desire that he has to ask her out, he's incapable of acting in this moment. So then we cut to the hallway, and we see Shelley is walking in the hallway entertaining some of her friends. I think she's talking about like blowing up a photo of baby Parker or something like that.
She found a baby photo and she had it blown up to poster size, and then she's about to tell us what she's going to do with it, but yeah.
And then she walks directly into Kubiak, and she tells the big slab of beef to get out of her way. The Kubiak steps back, coughs, and releases a pigeon that sounds like a blue jay from its esophageal prison within him. He just coughs and it's like, goes flying out.
That's great.
Coob breathing again. Shelley saved Coob's life.
Believe me, it was purely accidental.
Coob stop at nothing to repay Shelley. Coob carries Shelley to class.
I'm a dead woman.
I didn't put a note here, but I love how he picks her up because he like picks her up from like under her legs, so like he's carrying her like you would carry like a small child, where their legs are dangling over your arms there, like they're
it's
facing
like he turned
forward.
his arm. He turned his arms into like a swing or something. Just the way she's sitting, she's just like sitting there like, oh, I'm a dead woman.
It's funny how he carries her away.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So now we're back at the Atlas Diner in color. Parker is at the bar picking up an order. In fact, he's ignoring everything in the diner except Annie. Nick brings his order: 2 chili dogs, 1 tuna sandwich with the crust cut off, 2 Cokes, and a nerd juice. Nerd juice. Nick asks Parker to let Jerry know that the tuna is dolphin safe. Parker pays Nick and tells him to keep the change. But in his distracted state, he accidentally carries away this donut display that they have on the bar instead of his order. And Nick tells him the 13th one is free if you buy a dozen. And then he realizes what he's done at that point, and he sets the donuts down, and Nick tells Parker, if you ask her out, she might not go out with you. But if you don't ask her out, she'll never go out with you. And Parker asks if that's from Psychology Today, and Nick smirks. Tiger Beat.
Like how Nick
just funny because
Nick still reads Tiger Beat.
Yeah, that's why he knows so much about Parker, because he's read the issues with Corin Nemec on the cover. So Parker resolves in this moment to pull a Nike. I'm gonna just do it. And as he approaches, V.O. Parker tells us he's never lacked courage to pull any number of pranks. Stealing Loopman's monkey brains. I love the shout out to Loopman's monkey brains again. Sabotaging Musso's video rentals, And I wonder what that means.
Yeah. Like to know the
curious.
story behind that. Yeah.
Yeah. And siphoning the cream out of Kubiak's Twinkie. That sounds dangerous.
That is really dangerous.
At this moment, though, the thought of asking Annie out has turned him into a puddle of indecisiveness, which is how he describes himself.
Yeah.
We get another look over at Annie, and Parker resolves to ask her out. And then we hear the door chime, and this disappointed look settles over her face, and we hear him say, tomorrow. The camera like whips over to Nick, and he's just shaking his head as he looks over towards the door where Parker used to be.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could describe the transition here between scenes, because there's a clock transition here.
Yeah, I think we tilt up to a clock there in the diner. It's kind of that neon rimmed clock, and I think it's 5 till 12 or something. I don't know what the time is.
Yeah,
but we just crosses off from that to another clock. That's clearly not in the diner. I guess it's in the school, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it says at the same time, or maybe 5 minutes have passed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same time.
Same time. And then we pan down, or we tilt down from the clock. So yeah, it's just a crosses all between the two clocks, one in the diner, one in the hallway to get us over to the school.
You see, and Parker's, I guess he's standing underneath the clock in the hallway.
Yeah.
He's kind of psyching himself up. And he steps into the classroom with Annie. It's kind of a strange scene. I didn't really, for some reason, I thought he was in the hallway for part of it, and then it turns out he wasn't. He was in the classroom, so it was kind of confusing.
There's some weird cutting going on here.
Yeah.
This whole little interactions is kind of strange, actually. We can dissect it in a minute once you explain it.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, because he's in the hallway, psyching himself up, and then I think he follows her into the classroom, or they cut, and it's him in the classroom with her in front of the class, and the door closes behind him.
Yeah.
And he says he has something to ask her, and it's up to her, because she's like, what are you doing here, basically? Like, what are you doing? And he says he has something to ask her, and it's up to her whether they step into the hallway or he does it in front of all these people. And then we get this cut to a shot from of the Spanish class listening to the Spanish translation of Matt Stiles' confession from Season 1, Episode 3, Power Play.
Yeah. My note,
go ahead.
My note here was a great catch. I didn't notice that until I saw your note. I was like, oh, that's a great catch, dude. Yeah.
It's funny because, I didn't immediately clock it as a reused scene or whatever, but for some reason, the look on the people's faces and the fact they had the Spanish books, I remembered that from that episode, because
totally
that's when they're reading his confession over the loudspeaker, and then for whatever reason in the Spanish class it's being translated into Spanish through the loudspeaker. And I just remember that look, everybody looking kind of confused and slightly angry, and I was like, hey, that's that same shot.
Yeah, no, it was a great catch. I totally missed that.
So Annie reluctantly agrees to meet him in the hallway, and then Parker just becomes a mushmouth again.
Come on, Park.
He stammers and stifles himself, but Annie finally just asks him out. He's completely taken aback, and after another round of humana, he finally finds the word he wants. Yes!
But I did notice, so when they're out in the hallway, the classroom that's behind them at that point that I assume they just came out of, it's got this weird purple glow on the glass. Did you notice that?
Really?
Yeah,
no,
it's just
I didn't see that.
I mean, it's like I have no idea what the impetus for that was, or the rationale for that purple glow on the window there is.
You think it
looks really cool though, huh?
You think it was intentional?
Yeah. Oh no, totally. It was definitely a creative choice, but it's I'm not sure why they did it. Never seen him really do anything like that before. I mean, I've seen him do weird color stuff in Pankal's office and Musso's office behind her wall. But it was just interesting to see it on the door of the classroom. But it's a really cool look, though. I actually really liked it. I just don't know why they did it. And the other thing I noticed too was that room said poetry, even though it was the Spanish class. Yeah, on the door.
There's Spanish poetry.
Well, no, but it's. I was like, did they come out of the Spanish class or? Yeah,
they're just warping around all over the place.
Yeah, there's some purple void behind that door. I don't know.
Yeah. So she asks him out. He says yes. And then in this moment of bliss, he tumbles back, and this is a funny scene. he tumbles back and falls on the floor, but he falls through the floor, and we get this overhead shot of him just falling off a Looney Tunes cliffside.
Yep.
And when he hits the ground below, there's a puff of cartoon smoke. I mean, it's like they just superimpose Parker falling in a Looney Tunes cartoon, you know.
Yeah, just like the coyote. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny too because it's 1991 quality, so it looks cool, but it's not great, you know. It looks like something from 1991, which I love that kind of shit because it is old, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's so goofy.
I like the effort. It was funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I know a commercial break is a long time, but you've got to try and remember.
Yeah, so we're back over at the Atlas Diner now in black and white again.
And they did they used the same shot where the shooting star goes across the
that's right.
across the sky.
Yeah. It's a different one though, man. It's black and white this time.
Nick's just letting shooting stars go all over the place, man.
You can't contain this man shooting stars. He can't turn around without shooting stars all over the place. He's ejaculating shooting stars.
Oh, Nick.
He's a beast. An interstellar beast. All right. So Parker's mission on this date night was to make everything just right. He turns from the bar. This is still him explaining. He turns from the bar, and the scene is washed with color, and we find ourselves on the date in a venue of some kind. And it's funny because Parker says they must have picked the wrong night. Annie tells him, it says here the Replacements concert was last night. And the camera cuts over to a sign and she's just read that says the Replacements concert was last night.
It literally says that.
Yeah, it's a funny gag. So, right place, wrong time. And this venue is filled tonight with elderly couples engaged in the most sensual art form there is, ballroom dancing.
Yes.
So despite the fact that they feel underdressed and underaged, Parker and Annie have decided to stay and are dancing amongst the coffin dodgers. Gotta fit that term in here somewhere. Coffin dodgers. I love that
Dodgers.
term. They agree that they are having the best time, and we focus in on a specific elderly couple. When we come back from watching them dance, I guess.
Yeah.
We come back to see Parker and Annie, and she is drawn in close to him. They dance for a few moments before spinning and falling into a booth at the Atlas Diner. We're back to the diner.
Diner heavy episode here.
Yeah. VO heavy and diner heavy.
Yeah. Yes.
So Annie tells Parker that she was speaking with that elderly couple, and it turns out that they have been married for 52 years. Parker says that would definitely qualify as his longest relationship. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Then he does that thing you see on TV where he like looks at her lips.
Yeah.
And she asks what he's thinking.
Yeah.
and then he says truthness, which is super romantic.
Yes.
But she says truthness. And then he says kissing you, he says. I was thinking of kissing you. And then they do. And it's awful. And they both vomit and she runs out and joins the army. No.
Roll credits.
Roll credits, yeah. That's the gag at the end.
Yeah.
No, in fact, they make out in the booth, and as we pull past them, we see a reflection in the window of the elderly couple again, twirling in circles, their souls apparently cursed to an eternity of ballroom dancing in the reflection of a window.
Poor bastards.
Poor bastards. They thought they were just going to be like an analogy for their relationship, but no, their ghosts are stuck. Because they died earlier, too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. They died on the ballroom dance floor.
Died on the dance floor.
Eternally damned now.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're like, I thought I'd get away from you after 52 years at death. Damn it. All right, so anyway, cut to the Lewis house. We're outside. Kubiak is passed out on the front porch beside a pile of chicken bones. Like a carcass.
I was going to say, I love the chicken carcass. It's fucking, it's so good.
Yeah, it's stripped completely. He's lying there like a dog, too.
Yeah.
So the door opens and an irate Shelley steps out in her robe. She tells Coob that it's one thing to follow her around school, but sleeping outside her house is uncomfortable, he finishes her sentence. She tells him that this has gone on long enough, and tells him to take a hike. But he says he has to keep her safe. Go means go, Coob.
Get the hint, buddy. Yes, my note here was so right before this scene cuts away, we hear a fly buzzing around, and then Kubiak like sniffs the air, and then it just cuts. I'm like, whoa, what was that? So bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's like, if he can smell flies as like a food source as well. Because we've seen him try to eat them.
But it just cuts away. As soon as he sniffs the air, it just cuts away.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're at Santo Domingo now. We have this interesting montage here. What we're watching here is a conversation between Mikey, Parker, and Jerry, and it's interspliced with a similar conversation content-wise between Annie and her friend, who remains nameless. I think she's listed as girlfriend on IMDb.
Yeah, she's played by Tanya Wright. Her credits include Orange is the New Black, True Blood, and
multiple episodes of those shows too.
Yeah,
She's like a recurring character on
recurring character. Yeah, sorry, 18 episodes True Blood, 11 episodes of Orange is the New Black, and then tons of one-off credits too, dating back to the Cosby Show, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that it was funny to look at the list of guest actors in this episode. Like her name is Girlfriend on here, and I think she might have the longest and most prolific career of any of the guests on this episode.
Yeah.
She went on to do a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but just girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend. Yeah, so this is like a carouseling kind of shot. You know, it's like the camera's rotating the entire time, and we see like Mikey ask Parker something, Mikey asks Parker something, and then we see Annie responding to something, and vice versa. You know, it's just the questions are going back and forth, and we just, we get the feeling like they're all just tied up in this circular conversation, talking about the same thing, expressing, teenage anxieties, and
insecurities.
Yeah. They both have like this similar affection for each other, but they also both have those anxieties you have when you're a kid where, you're like, does he really like me? And it's like, come on, you were just making out in a booth, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course,
I think it's safe to say he likes you.
Yeah. He's worried, like, if he asks her out again, she might say no. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, come on, kids.
Yeah. And she's worried that he won't ask her out again. They've got like these, these concerns that are like at odds with each other. Exactly. If they just talk to each other instead of all these other people.
Yep.
Teenage dating is also easy when you're in your 40s.
Yes, exactly. If we could just go back now.
Teenagers. Don't date teenagers, Chip.
We could slam it out of the park.
Yeah. I'll just leave that thread right there.
Man.
Yeah, because I put in here, like, their concerns are absolutely ridiculous considering what transpired on their date, but they're teenagers.
But they're teenagers. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, so Parker
they're idiots.
Undeveloped. They're undeveloped, man. They're still developing,
Which means they're idiots.
Emotionally. They're morons. They're in their moron stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he finally resolves he's going to ask her out again. And we see him and the buds approaching her in the hallway, from behind or whatever. He assures himself that he's not nervous, but of course he is.
Who am I kidding? This is death.
Heart pounding, mouth dry, stomach spinning.
Now you know how I feel every day of my life, sirs.
Poor Jerry.
I was like, poor anxiety-ridden Jerry.
Yeah. Oh, man, that poor guy.
Yeah.
So Parker and Annie meet at the lockers, and they both agree they had fun on their date. And they both simultaneously ask if they can ask each other something. It's a sitcom trope.
Yeah.
Annie goes first, asking if he's going to kiss her or what. And he says, "You bet. This is the real deal. This is love." We get this shot of Mikey and Jerry down the hallway, and they're both looking on with their hearts rightly warmed by the scene. They both look very heart-warmed.
Yes.
Parker and Annie have achieved relationshipness. I feel like this is a common thing in the episodes that Lon Diamond and Clyde Phillips write, is the ness suffix.
Coolness, truthness, relationshipness. I retrieved limpness.
Yeah. I will say coolness definitely appears more frequently, and it does appear periodically, but I noticed that in their scripts it's in there a lot more.
100%, I agree.
Yeah. So we start to see that montage of calendar dates falling off of a calendar, as the two of them just kiss and kiss and kiss.
Yes.
In the hallway.
There is a lot of lip locking in this episode. A lot.
Yes, there is. Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier, actually. Like, the interaction between Parker and Annie is a lot more intimately physical in that way than any of his previous relationships, even though he kissed other girls on here.
Yes.
There's a lot more. I mean, that's probably just good acting. That they're really playing two characters who are, developing feelings,
Yes.
Yeah,
so it's hot and heavy.
All right, calm down, Chip. So after what Parker describes this as the best week of their lives, and then they took a big step. Annie moved into his locker.
Oh, shit.
So she moved into his locker, unlike, what's her name, who moved him into her locker. What was her name? Just said it earlier. Haley.
I was gonna say, it just shows you the dynamic.
Yeah.
The difference in dynamics there.
Yeah. Yeah. So she takes a few books out of the locker and gives them a big sloppy kiss before heading off to class. Parker says that not only has she changed the way I think about the future, she's changed the way I think about the past. And then we go back in time again, and we see Heartbreaker number 1 say, "Park, where did you learn to kiss like that?" And I just wrote, "Yikes!"
Yeah,
Yikes.
Because this is the kindergarten kid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, Heartbreaker number 2 comes up and says, "Parker, I didn't know your dad owned a video store." It's not going to be impressive much longer, kid.
No.
And then Heartbreak number 3 comes out. Cheyenne, she comes out and says, "Parker who?" He says, "Can't win them all."
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when it's your own fantasy sequence, you still can't win them all.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we're in the hallway. Musso and Shelley are walking through the hall discussing Shelley's future role at the school. Miss Musso says she sees her as an excellent candidate for special obedience helper. And I just put a note here. She must know Frank is going to be gone at the end of the season.
Oh. Yeah, I know.
That was teardrops going.
Yeah.
Mine aren't little fairy teardrops.
Here's go bloop, bloop.
Yeah, exactly. So Miss Musso tells Shelley she's got the one thing. But before she can elaborate, Kubiak emerges like a whale before them and lets fly with this huge roar. And Miss Musso she's taken aback, and she just screams in terror, which shatters the door glass in the Diane English classroom next to her. And then she turns and she runs off. She leaves so quickly she goes right through the wall, leaving a cutout silhouette of herself behind.
Another great cartoon gag.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't put in like the little sound when she's trying to run away.
And Twinkle Toes sound effect, that would have been perfect.
Yeah. Or she's running in place. And that would have been funny too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So this is like my favorite shot of the episode. Shelley tells a triumphant Kubiak that she will now be forced to kill him. And he like squats down towards her and he pouts his lip out real far, and she just grabs his lip and drags him out of the scene. It's really
so
funny.
good.
He's all like, she's like, pulls him right out of the scene. It's really good.
Dragging him by his lower lip.
Yeah. So now we're back over at the Lewis Sloan locker. Annie opens the door to find a single rose inside. She takes a sniff, then turns to find Parker in the hallway. V.O. Parker says, "Relationship? Check. Romance? Check. Parker Lewis." That's stupid. He's decided that now is the time to up the stakes. He asks Annie if she wants to go steady. And in voiceover, he concludes that there are only 3 possible answers to the question. Yes, which would make him ecstatic. No, which would cause him to relocate to another solar system. Or, worst of all, and then as he's saying this, she's on screen mouthing this, "I don't know."
Oh, no. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And then the bell rings before he can respond to this, and she's taken away by a very angry-looking teacher, actually.
Yes, she's like snatched away by the teacher.
Yeah. Just hauls her ass off into the English class. And she turns, and they look at each other through the reconstituted door glass.
Yeah.
And then, for some reason, Parker's reflection remains as Annie disappears. Like, she vanishes from the scene.
Yeah.
Which is it's very Parker Lewis, but I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Anyway, so as Parker staggers away, he says that in a span of 10 seconds, he's gone from being the happiest kid in the world to the most miserable kid in the world.
And he says, the most miserable kid in the world with a bunch of crummy special effects.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like-
yeah, that's right.
I'm like, that's a bit unwarranted, I think.
Yeah.
So your special effects are pretty good, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're not bad in this shot. And they're kind of like, I don't remember what it looks like. It's kind of blurry or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Always the critic.
Yeah.
So Mikey finds him in the hallway, and he puts his hand on Parker's shoulder and walks him away and into the commercial break.
You guys were dangerous dudes, huh?
So now we're back at the Atlas Diner in amazing real-world color.
Yay.
Shelley is seated in a booth as Kubiak drops a tray in front of her. He has pre-chewed her food for her to take care of any pesky, life-threatening bones that might be inside. And she is rightly disgusted by this.
Yeah.
It's this pile of slop he's given her. The camera pans to Parker. He's seated at the bar still, and he's continuing his story with Nick. Suddenly he realizes something isn't right. And that's when the color drains from the scene and the sad saxophone music returns. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So you were going around in circles. You asked this girl out. She gave you
The big maybe.
giving way to.
The big chill. More like the big awkward.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. No, it
Her
is.
behavior is very confusing at this point.
It is 100%.
So we're back in the Santo Domingo hallway. Annie and her friends pass by Parker without acknowledging him, which is fucking savage.
Yeah.
And then Claire's theme builds into the scene as we see the Buds walking down the hall in the opposite direction from Annie and her friends. Parker glances back and then turns away just as Annie glances back at him. Oh man, so many missed moments.
Yep.
Annie is then at their locker, and she closes the door and walks off just as Parker exits his classroom and approaches the locker. He opens the door, and then he looks down the hallway for her in the direction she went. And when he closes the locker door, she's standing there. So that and the disappearance in the window leads me to believe that she also has teleportation power here.
Yes.
Or she borrowed Frank's device or something.
Yeah. Or she's a ghost.
That's right.
She's been
Maybe
dead
she's
this
the
whole
ghost.
time. She's actually that old woman.
She's the elderly lady. Holy shit. You're right. Her girlfriend was talking to nobody in that carousel scene. Because she's nuts.
She can talk. No, she's like,
Wow.
it's like Sixth Sense. She can talk to dead people.
That's right. Yeah. So what we didn't see was her pleading with her to leave this boy alone. You must move on. Leave him alone. He's not going to ask you out again.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Wow. So anyway, at this point, she says the words you never want to hear. We need to talk. Although in this case, I would say you probably do need to talk. Park.
Yeah. It's like, you actually want to hear that. It's like, oh, yeah. Let's hash this out.
Yeah. So we go back to the diner here, and Parker's telling the story again. Nick is pouring them 2 glasses of soda, and Parker says that they talked and talked and talked, and all they realize is that they're unsure. And then he guesses they broke up. This is a very strange scene, too.
It is, yeah.
It's like, we need to talk, and then we cut to him saying that they talked and talked and talked. We don't see any of that, you know. And then they broke up, apparently.
Supposedly they broke up, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And he tells Nick, that's where you came in. So I guess we're back to the beginning of the episode now.
Yeah.
The beginning of the documentary now.
Yes.
So Nick tells him if he has a broken heart, he came to the right place. This scene is also strange.
Yes.
Parker asks what he means, and Nick pulls open his shirt and starts rubbing his chest. Gesturing to his heart, he tells Parker about a girl named Cassie who broke his heart 1.5 years ago. He says the dang thing still hasn't healed up right. And then, in typical Nick fashion, he says, sometimes at night, when the wind hits just right, I can still hear her voice, although it gets softer and softer as time goes by.
My note was she a banshee? If the wind is reminding you of her voice?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how she talked. She was just all like, hey, babe, you want to go out to dinner tonight? All right. We're always on the same page.
Oh, God.
It's like I can read your thoughts. Okay, anyway.
I finally had a girl I really liked. A girl I wanted to be with all the time. And it felt fantastic. felt like it took all the work out of being a teenager. And then, bam, break up.
I gotta say, this scene especially, I think Corin Nemec did some excellent work in this scene. His portraying this heartbroken kid is, really tugging at the heartstrings. Watching it, I was like, man, he's really knocking it out here.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so Nick assures him that this is tough, and he knows this sounds like some adult bull, but the pain passes, and eventually it goes away. And he tells him not to crawl in a hole and lick his wounds like some yard dog.
Yard dog.
I love Nick's vocabulary.
Yeah.
All kinds of great syntax or whatever. Parker isn't hearing it, though. He's hung up on the possibility that he's blown it big time, and now he's all alone. Nick tells him he's wrong, that he's only alone if he chooses to be. He glances over and sees Mikey standing in the background. I will say also that Paul Johansson did an excellent job in this scene as well. Like that whole reassuring him thing. Like you can really feel the pathos in that. Yeah,
he's good. It's weird that because Mike, he's like, you don't have to go it alone. You see Mikey standing in the background, just inside the door, but he's just standing there, not like he's coming over or going to get a booth, or he's just
he doesn't want Nick to punch him.
Yeah, he's just standing awkwardly in the doorway. It's really weird.
Yeah. He walks in the door. He's like, oh, do you got this? Okay, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah. Oh, Nick's got this covered. I'm gonna get.
Yeah. Or he's like, Parker, you came to talk to him? You son of a bitch.
Then he gets Then he gets all pouty.
Yeah. I'm gonna go join a band, man. I get that whole thing. Yeah. Oh boy. No, that's not what happened. Mikey's very concerned.
Yes.
We cut to a classroom. We see Annie talking to someone about how she hasn't slept 5 minutes since they broke up. Every time she hears the phone ring, she thinks it's going to be Parker, and they can finally talk. And then I just wrote, again, I guess?
Yeah.
Apparently they talked already, but I don't know. It's weird. The camera pans and reveals Mikey is seated beside her. See, he cares.
Yes, of course.
He assures her that Parker will call. He knows Parker. Now we're in the hallway. Shelley is walking the halls, trailed by Coob, still. She turns and hisses at him like a cat, which I thought was great. That sound effect was awesome.
So good.
And she passes Jerry, who I guess has just heard the greatest punchline in the history of punchlines, because he is laughing his ass off,
guffawing.
Yeah, he looks like George McFly laughing.
That's exactly what it is. It is George McFly laughing. Yeah. Exactly what that is.
Yeah, and he stumbles right into Kubiak. And then Coob coughs a time or two and then launches a pizza box across the hall, narrowly missing Shelley as she ducks out of the way.
That's great.
Right over her head.
Would have taken her head off.
Yeah, I know. Came out fast enough. Jerry has cleared Coob's airway. Coob is now inclined to protect Jerry. Jerry protests, but Kubiak lifts him up and carries him away, and Jerry moans, "I'm a dead man." And he carries him away the same way, in that same, you're sitting in a swing thing. Yeah. Really funny. So we're back at the Atlas Diner, back in black and white, again.
Yes.
Nick and Parker are at the bar again. Parker tells Nick he's less than zero, left with only the memories, snapshots of what he and Annie used to be. And then we get this great montage of clips from the episode we just watched, recapping Parker and Annie's relationship. And I know I point that out. Yeah. I've done that a couple of times, but that's always what I think of when I see fucking montages of the episode we just spent 20 minutes watching. Yeah.
Producer's like, we got to stretch it out.
Yeah. Take every scene and cut it into a little bite-sized bit. Although I will say that this one is probably as affecting as the montage in the episode with Haley Madison when they did the same thing. Yeah. Where they just did a recap of their relationship through scenes from the episode. But it's, that one, I remember that episode being affecting, on in a relationship way, Yeah. And I think this one has similar vibes.
Yeah, I agree.
It works on this one as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So suddenly the door chimes. Parker shoots a strange look in that direction as Annie enters the diner, bringing all the color back into the scene with her. He asks how she knew to find him there, and she claims women's intuition. It's probably just Mikey.
Yeah,
that's what he calls himself.
Yeah, I'm women's intuition.
I'm women's intuition. Yeah. I don't know where to go with that.
I don't either. It's just funny. It's just funny.
Yeah. So she tells him this is a good story, but no, it's not. It's a good story, but it's a sad story. So he says he thought that she didn't know, and she tells him she still doesn't. But if she's going to be I don't know with somebody, she wants it to be with him. She asks what he says, and he says, I don't know. And then she laughs, and he laughs. And she asks if he's going to kiss her or if she has to wait for In Living Color to come on. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Little meta joke there.
Yeah.
And then they smooch and smooch and smooch. And we pan over to the elderly couple whose ghosts are now seated in a booth, sharing an afterlife phosphate with 2 ghost straws. And they start kissing, the kiss of the recently deceased who are damned to haunt the diner beneath which their bodies are buried.
That's great.
I decided to add a little color to the...
Yeah.
This is the C story that we don't get to see.
Exactly.
The disco... Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, they're not going to be released until their murders have been avenged.
Yeah, or until their bodies are replaced by 2 other young bodies, Parker and Annie. Yeah. We can get them to
they're
somehow.
Released into the afterlife.
Yeah. They need to find out where there's a new building where they're digging new footings and somehow trick Annie and Parker into falling into those footings and having concrete poured. Then they'll be freed.
Sounds like a good Tales from the Crypt episode. Yeah.
Nobody steal that idea. Nobody's listening to this.
No.
Right. Paul, don't steal this idea. All right, anyways. So the disco ball spins as Annie and Parker dance. Parker says, okay, what do you want from me? She's my first love. Think back to when you were a teenager, your first love. Love and hurt, pain and pleasure, the flashcards of teenage romance whirling together in an everlasting dance, and you never want it to end. Then we get our credits gag, which, as I point out, makes a lot more sense now than when I first watched it. The title card for executive producer Clyde Phillips is on screen before one of the strings holding it in place breaks, and it half collapses and starts teetering. Annie and Parker inspect the damaged decoration, and that's the end of the episode.
What have you got to say for yourselves?
All right, Chip, what did you think of Boy Meets Girl?
Definitely not one of my favorite episodes.
Really?
But it's not bad. I think the thing is, it just seems like a typical kind of sitcom-y kind of thing. It definitely had some cartoony stuff. Obviously, the Wile E. Coyote stuff and the Coob stuff, to kind of keep it moving. But like the A story didn't have a lot of cartoony stuff, maybe some surrealist stuff, but more kind of poetic, symbolic stuff, but not like cartoony gags. Which I just don't find those as enjoyable as the other episodes. And I'd say during my first watch through of this, I was just like, oh, come on, guys. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Just get over your fucking self. But, he makes a point in his view at the end. He's like, what do you want? I'm a fucking teenager. And it's like, that's what it is. Right. It's just the teenagers being fucking stupid because you're stupid when you're a teenager and everything is like, end of the world kind of stuff. Right. Everything that happens is the end of the fucking world. So, trying to put myself back into that mindset when I was a teenager, it's like, everything was the end of the fucking world. Yeah. So, upon my rewatches, I kind of was less critical of that, Yeah. Because I'm like, that is the point. It's just fucking stupid. Yeah.
It was an interesting episode. I think I probably liked it a little bit more than you did, but also, I feel like if the intention here, and I think it is, the intention here is to introduce Annie Sloan as an ongoing character. Yeah. And in order to do that, you don't have a lot of time for any of the other characters, really. Yeah. If you really want to drive this home, we barely got any Musso. We got no Frank. Yeah. There was a B story with Shelley and Kubiak. That was cool, but even the Buds weren't in this very much. It was all Parker and Annie, really. Yeah, for sure. And it's a lot of, and like I said, it's a lot of talking, and it works for the way it's framed. That he's telling a story to somebody, so you're going to hear a lot of voiceover. But it's not a typical wacky and crazy cartoon episode of Parker Lewis. It's more of the teenage sitcom style. Yeah, exactly. It was interesting, and the fact that it's different, the way it diverges from what was the episode with Haley Madison? I can't remember what it was called. Splendor in the Class. That's what it was called.
Yeah, Splendor in the Class.
Similar theme as far as like Parker falling for somebody, but different in the sense that like there is no conflict between him and anybody else except, himself. Really,
yeah,
her.
Exactly. Yeah.
The buds are all on board this time, you know, which maybe it's just because he didn't take her into the Parker Central or whatever.
Central, yeah. She wasn't painting a big ass mural on the wall.
Yeah, that mural
denigrating Jerry and Mikey.
Yeah. Oh man, that was great. Pitchforks and everything.
Yeah, I know.
So funny.
Parker's breaking his chains. Oh god.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's great. I feel like this one's kind of a sweet story.
Yeah.
It's it's
totally.
It's so over the top and dramatic, in that teenage way.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I was looking forward to her being I don't know how many more times she comes back this season. I know she's in a couple episodes at least, and I think she's an ongoing character in the third season, but
pretty regular character in the third season. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's kind of like just like one of the buds at that point. I mean, she's his girlfriend, but yeah, she's there in every episode. But yeah, I think there's at least one other episode that's specifically centered around her in this season, because I think it's called Boy Meets Girl Part 2 or something.
Yeah,
near the end of the season. Yeah,
and then I think she might be in the finale or something. But so yeah, I mean, all in all, it wasn't my favorite episode, but I didn't dislike it or anything. I'd probably watch it again.
No, it wasn't bad. Like I say, I think to me,
I didn't hate it like you did.
Yeah, total garbage. No, it just, like I say, to me, it feels more like a normal vibe of like a normal teenage sitcom kind of thing, not so much the craziness that we know of as Parker Lewis. And also, I think it is kind of a portent of things to come in season 3, as far as the styles, quite a bit different.
I think you're right about that. Yep.
So yeah, and it was not a documentary style.
Most definitely not documentary. On the next Synchronize Swatches.
Next time, Season 2, Episode 13, Raging Coob. The almighty Coob, with his childlike mentality, backs down from nothing, except his do-gooder request for him to not fight anymore. What? Except his do-gooder request for him to not fight anymore.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Seeing a chance, the school's Donald the Don Yamano, he's back, jumps to attention and takes over the school with an iron fist. What? Seeing a chance, the school's Donald the Don Yamano, jumps to attention and takes over the school with an iron fist. Okay. Everyone is pushed into a corner, waiting for the mighty Kubiak to help. Will capital W. Will Larry Kubiak come out of retirement and fight Donald? Or with his tale, told in children's story style, not end happily ever after? Man.
Yeah.
It was
what a mess.
Yeah, it's a little tough to get through.
I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't either. The almighty Coob, with his childlike mentality, backs down from nothing. Okay.
So basically, somebody asks Coob to stop fighting. He does so, and then somebody else fills the vacuum, the power vacuum.
Yes.
And now they need Coob to come back. Kick Don's ass. Okay.
But he won't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Except his do-gooder request for him. That's just such a weird. I mean, I've seen this episode, so I know what it's essentially. I think his girlfriend's like, we can't date anymore if you keep being violent or whatever. Yeah.
Is it the same one from before?
Yeah, exactly. It's her.
Okay.
So, but that's what I was. Except for his do-gooder request.
Okay. Whatever.
Anyways, okay. Yeah. Or with this tale told in children's story style. Watch this not even be told like that either.
Yeah. This one will be the documentary. Like, you bastards! What are you doing?
That was a tough one to get through there.
You've been listening to Synchronize Swatches, your twice monthly dose of coolness.
But wait, if listening is not enough for you, and you'd like to see our ugly mugs, that is not a problem.
Head on over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel at Synchronize Swatches. There you will find all of our mainline episodes as well as our bonus content. Also, you can now stream full episodes of Parker Lewis Can't Lose on Plex TV.
We're also on social media. Search for our handle @SwatchesPod on Instagram and TikTok, and hit that follow button. We welcome your comments, questions, critiques, and all forms of correspondence over at our email address, swatchespod@gmail.com.
I should say here, too, that the TikTok account is basically kept open, and I continue posting to that for like the 12 people out there who know who you are, who like our clips every day. That's it. There's our reels, our TikToks, whatever the fuck they're called. There's like 12 people every day who do it. They're the only ones that we keep TikTok open for, just so you know.
Yes. It's all for you.
Yeah. So while you're at it, why not cruise over to your podcast app of choice and leave us a 5-star rating and positive review? It makes a difference in getting the word out about what we're doing here.
Our theme music was written and produced by My Sinister Hand.
The show is recorded on the West and East Coasts of the United States. It is written by the hosts with post-production by Chip Johnson. Chris Gregory manages our social media quote-unquote empire. Special thanks to Paul Coates for all of his German title insights and Allison Doster for our new custom logo design. You can see more of her work over at Instagram, where she uses the handle Bunny Soul Art. That's BUNISOULART.
Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, I'm Chip Johnson.
I'm Chris Gregory.
Reminding you that apathy is the Orwellian prologue. So get out there and do some good.
Sorry.
Stepped all over my line.
My friend Jerry said you guys were going to do something really neat today.
I like people, but they suck.